Farm4Profit podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit podcast.
Well, we're bringing back a familiar voice. Oof, boy, it's almost too early. I've already had a couple cups of coffee here, Dave.
Hey, I'm glad you made the first one and not me, man.
Let's see if we can run this. We're bringing back a familiar face and voice. I just combined it. We're going to have a whole new word. It's just going to be voice.
I like it. I can go with that.
Dean's here from Fastline Marketing Group. He's president and is going to give us a couple of updates. Welcome back, Dean.
Hey, thank you very much, Tanner. Glad to be with you. I always appreciate being on your show and all that you do for the ag community.
So remind me where you're at. Where's your office? Where are you sitting?
Yeah, so we are in Buckner, Kentucky, a small town right outside Louisville. So that's kind of been our home base since 1978 for over 45 years here for Fastline. So set up shop here and happy to be here. Most of our team is here in Buckner. Obviously, we got sales support across the country, and we've got a printing facility for our catalogs that's a little bit further away from here down in Louisville.
Yeah, because you got pretty much the U.S. covered up nicely with that team that you've established.
We have, yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Just really 45 years of history and tradition. We blanket the entire United States. I mean, for folks that don't know about Fastline, I mean, we really our goal and our mission is to connect buyers and sellers within the agricultural community and that space, right? And we really started as a print publication, and we've really blanketed the entire United States with our catalogs, with our sales teams, out there really connecting the farmers to those equipment dealers, and then everybody else, that's looking to sell items within the ag space is a good mechanism that use Fastline as an advertising tool. So that's really where we've started. We still send out about 4 million catalogs a year, believe it or not, all across the United States. We've got 1 million farmers on our list, names and addresses. Through the years with our data, we've been able to develop some demographic information, crops, acreage, things of that nature that is helpful for us, but also helpful for the advertisers and for the farmers themselves.
Yeah, that's impressive. And I'm sure with that, you kind of get a really good feel on what the pulse of the market is. So here we are sitting spring of 2024. How is the equipment market?
Yeah. So, okay. The way I look at the market is really twofold. I'll start with the equipment side, and then we also have like a farmer advisory group that I meet once a month with on the farmer, so I can tell you at least a little bit. I compare notes. You can tell me if I'm out in left field or not on the farmer side of things too. But yeah, from the dealer side, definitely continuing to have a little bit of a harder go on things. I think the farmer sentiment's improving. But for the dealer side of things, certainly the higher interest rates are continuing to be a problem with floor plan costs. I mean, floor plan costs are almost outrageous right now, to the point to where it's critical. The customers I talk to, right, is just continuing to turn that inventory, to turn that into cash, right? I mean, it's almost not even economical to hold inventory for long periods of time due to floor plans. So that is a concern. It has been a concern for a long time. I'm not probably giving you any new info on that side of things, but what I see, trends in the marketplace is, because of that and the need to offload inventory on the equipment side of things, I think you're going to continue to see auctions become more and more of a play. Just to try to offload some of the combines. Combine has certainly been notorious, for higher inventory levels. I mean, well documented over the last 6 to 9 months. So still seeing that, believe it or not, it's starting to improve a little bit, but I've seen tons of combines, in auctions, just trying to offload and get some of that floor plan, back to an optimal size.
I think the last time we chatted, one of the things you brought up was the prediction that there would be some more dealer liquidations or inventory moving via this auction vehicle.
Yeah, that was one of the things. I appreciate you saying that. That was one of the things we were looking to kind of get into the space. We're not certainly not looking to be the biggest auction house in the country, but I mean, again, going back to our mission, just trying to connect buyers and sellers. Really, that's what Fastline's all about. Servicing. We want to be, for the farmers, we want to be looked upon as that trusted resource that people can go on, and that's why we've had such a great name and reputation throughout the years. And then, of course, for the folks, equipment dealers, manufacturers out there, we want to be that trusted marketing partner too. So we have entered the auction space. We know we talked about that last year, and recently we've partnered with Proxy Bid. So we have an April 25th auction. You can find us on Proxy Bid. You can also find us on our site. It's called bid.fastline.com. Really would encourage everybody to get out there. We've got a lot of great equipment for the April 25th auction. Going to be more construction themed, candidly, here for this auction. We're going to go once a month. The May auction is going to try to be timing of things. Our March one was kind of like a spring cleanup sale. This is going to be more construction. May is going to be more focused on hay forage, getting ready for that season is coming up as well. So just trying to be themed out there to help the farmers, help folks looking. So definitely would encourage you to come bid.fastline.com.
So it could be a little bit more of a buyer's market for combines, but what is selling really hot right now? What piece of equipment is the most expensive?
Well, I tell you what's moving a lot for our site. I mean, again, we've got a marketplace, fastline.com, for farmers out there listening to your show. Please come to fastline.com, and we have about 150,000 pieces of equipment, so it's a great marketplace for you to come out and go shop and kind of compare notes to other sites and things. What we're seeing, the tractors seem to continue to be moving well. Obviously, tons of needs. You're going to always be able to do that. So some of the lower horsepower are moving pretty quickly. We've got 3,500 of those, horsepower, 40 to 99 horsepower on our site. Some of the mid-sized tractors, maybe from 100 to almost 300 horsepower. We've got about 4,000 on our site. So those seem to be moving pretty well. Higher horsepower, anything over 300, it's kind of starting to get a little bit more stagnant as well. So that's kind of what we're seeing on our site. We talked about the combines, planters, obviously getting into that season. So
Sure.
that's moving pretty good. We've got about 2,000 right now on our site from a planter standpoint. Sprayers,
Yeah.
I would expect to be next in line there, coming up through the seasons. So
Yeah, I saw a post on X from a fellow listener and producer that said, "Remind me not to trade planters the first week of April
correct.
with-
Yes.
without
Yes.
knowing the headaches that I'm going to get." So yes, that's good for our listeners to know as
Yes.
far as that goes. But you alluded to this advisory group that you have put together. So tell us a little bit more about that information.
I love it, and I'm excited about it because what that does is, again, we've got to do a better job as a company of connecting with the farmers, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we're here, is to support those folks, make sure that we're a trusted advisor for them. So we have a monthly meeting, have about 30 to 50 farmers or so that we'll do just like a Teams call. Nowadays, it's very easy to connect. So we'll just kind of get feedback, on what they need, how we can better help them. Obviously we're asking questions about Fastline, so we're asking, hey, what could we be doing better with fastline.com, auctions, any services that we provide. But through those conversations, we also get a better feel for the pulse too, leveraging them. And then also I leverage a lot from Purdue, great information that comes out of Purdue as well. But, from what we can see in our conversations, the farmer sentiment, better story than I can give you on the dealer side of things, is slightly improving, right? I mean, slightly improving, about 50% or so are starting to see, I believe, that financial conditions we're going to improve here towards the end of the year, most notably with the interest rate reduction. I know that's been well documented, right? That hopefully that's going to be coming here over the next month or two. So I think from that side of things, definitely an improvement. The other thing that I hear quite a bit about, which is interesting, is smaller percentage, but maybe a quarter of them are starting to think that right now is not a bad time to make longer term investments, which is very encouraging. I mean, given everything that we've all been through over the last 6 to 9 months, for folks that have that type of opinion, they're in a strong position cash flow wise. And then also there, to your point earlier, Tanner, you mentioned it, being more of a buyer's market, right? They're trying to prey on folks, the dealers maybe that have excess equipment, maybe they can get a deal on something. So if they're in a good cash flow position, it really is a better time, buyer's market, from a farmer standpoint. So getting a higher percentage of folks there that are starting to see, hey, this isn't a bad time to make a longer term investment if they're committed and in it for the long term. The other two snippets I would give you, probably not telling you anything you don't know, but I mean, hopefully farm values, from their side of things are going to also improve, in 24, which is always a good sign. And then, again, just so higher input costs, continue to be, a challenge for everybody out there.
We know as markets shift and environmental factors, whether it be economical or whatnot, changes. Right now, as we sit here in the spring, would you say it would be better if I had something to sell to put it on an auction or to list it in your eyes?
I think it really just depends. Great question. I would just say, how quickly do you need to convert that? I mean, I think it's certainly beneficial to always list first, because I think at the end of the day, you can probably try to maximize, your value, what you're looking for out of that piece of equipment, especially if you leverage a partner like a Fastline, or anyone else that can help you with like specific marketing tactics, right? We can run social ads, we can run PPC ads. We can build things out to where we can really help you hit that audience, to maximize your amount. But at the same time, we go back to the floor plan cost, right? You got interest rate issues, and hey, I got to get cash out of this thing now. And so if the urgency's there, that's where I would say auction is the play. There's no doubt about it. You're going to convert it quickly. The way we handle the things, we can certainly help you. If there's reserves and things like that you've got to get minimums out, of items, that's where we can support you on that side of things.
That's great. I like that perspective that it's not a cut and dry straight answer. It's
Yep.
going to depend, and that's why you have trusted partners, especially like you guys at Fastline. So if our listeners want to look you up or reach out, what's the best way for them to do that, Dean?
Hey, well, great. All right, team me right up there. So I would definitely look at us on our online marketplace. I talked about fastline.com. Give us a look, www.fastline.com. We're going to have about 150,000 pieces of equipment there for you. Shopping, it's always fun to go out there and hunting on things that you may be interested in. One thing I would also highlight more information about the company. That would be fastlinemarketinggroup.com. You can certainly find us on social media. We've got a great Facebook page, over 400,000 followers. So just Fastline. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, you name it, whatever we got out there nowadays. TikTok a little bit. We're trying to play there a little bit as well. And I mentioned auctions earlier, bid.fastline.com. Check us out on auctions. And again, Proxy Bid is another place that you can find us there, from an auction standpoint. As well. One last snippet I'd tell you, just from a farmer's perspective, if you guys go check us out on fastline.com, we've put this in place for you all, as just way to kind of, again, provide additional support. So we've got this feature out there. It's called price comparison. And it's really more in play for some of the larger pieces of equipment, obviously more volume piece of equipment, I should say, tractors, combines, things like that, sprayers, planters, but we've got price comparison out there. So it's a tool. We mimicked it really from the auto industry. It's almost like a Cars Guru type of a tool. So it can help you out there with your shopping, to make sure that you're getting a decent deal out there, right? So we compare, if you're looking for, I'll just throw a 4240 tractor out there, right? I mean, so if you're looking for a 4240 tractor out there, Deere, you can see, looking at all we have, I think only 10, we have 10 online, but we can compare, there's a bar chart that shows the price of all 10 of those that are being listed. And, not to say, there's reasons why things may be priced more. Obviously, hours come into play, features, things like that, common sense stuff. But it is a good guide for you guys, to make sure that you're getting a good deal out there. That's something that we support. We're the only one in the industry that has something like that. So.
Awesome. I love the value you bring to our audience. I always love having you on the podcast. I know we'll touch base again, but thanks again for your time today.